There is one thought that, once fully grasped, transforms everything you have ever believed about life, success, relationships, and your place in this world. This single realization has the power to shift you from victim to victor, from reactor to creator, from someone who begs life for scraps to someone who commands reality itself. You are about to discover the most profound truth ever revealed to humanity, a truth so simple that most people overlook it, yet so powerful that it holds the key to every miracle, every breakthrough, every transformation that has ever occurred in human history. The world you see around you is not separate from you. It is not happening to you. It is not some external force that controls your destiny while you struggle helplessly within its grip. The world is yourself pushed outward. Every person you encounter, every situation you face, every circumstance that surrounds you is a perfect reflection of your inner state of consciousness. This is the one thought that changes everything. You are not in the world is in you. Look around you right now. Every relationship in your life reflects back to you exactly what you believe about yourself. Every financial situation mirrors your inner sense of worth and abundance. Every challenge you face corresponds to an unresolved conflict within your own consciousness. The external world is nothing more than your inner world made visible, projected outward, like images from a cosmic movie projector. When you truly understand this principle, blame becomes impossible. Victimhood becomes obsolete. Powerlessness becomes a memory of who you used to be before you awaken to the truth of your divine nature. Your assumptions create the world you experience. Every assumption you hold about yourself, about others, about life itself, becomes the lens through which reality forms around you. If you assume you are unlucky, the world will provide endless evidence of your misfortune. If you assume you are beloved, love will find you in the most unexpected places. If you assume you are abundant, resources will flow to you as naturally as rivers flow to the sea. The ancient wisdom declares, as above, so below, as within, so without. Your outer world is a perfect photograph of your inner world. Every external condition is an internal assumption made manifest. Every person who enters your life is attracted by the magnetic pull of your consciousness. Every opportunity or obstacle appears in perfect response to your mental and emotional state. This is why changing your external circumstances without changing your internal consciousness is futile. You cannot build a mansion with blueprints for a shack. You cannot experience abundance with a consciousness of lack. You cannot attract loving relationships while harboring assumptions of unworthiness. The revolutionary truth is that you have been approaching life backwards. You have been trying to change the reflection instead of changing yourself. You have been attempting to rearrange the outer world while leaving your inner world untouched. You have been polishing the mirror while ignoring the image it reflects. But when you reverse this process, when you begin with changing your inner world, miracles become natural. When you transform your assumptions, your entire reality reshapes itself to match your new internal state. When you rebuild your consciousness, the world rebuilds itself around you. Jim Carrey understood this principle profoundly during his struggling years as a comedian. In 1985, when he was broke and unknown, he wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, and post-dated it for Thanksgiving 1995. But this was more than positive thinking. Carrey lived from the assumption that he was already a successful actor worthy of that amount. He carried the check in his wallet, looked at it daily, and most importantly, he assumed the internal state of someone who had already achieved that level of success. By 1994, 1 year before his target date, he was offered exactly $10 million for his role in Dumb and Dumber. His external world had perfectly matched his internal assumption. His success came through understanding that assumptions backed by faith and sustained through consistency become the very experiences they describe. Carrey proved that when you live from your desired reality internally, the universe mobilizes all its resources to validate your assumptions externally. Align with this creative power and declare with absolute conviction, I am always under divine inspiration and create only perfect conditions in my life. The world is not fixed, reality is not permanent, circumstances are not carved in stone. Everything you see around you is fluid, malleable, responsive to the commands of consciousness. You are not a prisoner of your past or a victim of your present. You are the architect of your future, designing reality through the blueprints of your assumptions. Scripture reveals this truth when it declares, "Be it unto you according to your faith." Faith is not hoping for good things. Faith is assuming they are already yours. Faith is living from the end result rather than focusing on current appearances. Faith is internal assumption made so real that external manifestation becomes inevitable. Every person who has ever achieved greatness understood this principle, whether consciously or unconsciously. They lived from assumptions of success before success appeared. They operated from feelings of abundance before abundance manifested. They assumed their worthiness before the world confirmed it. Consider the biblical account of Abraham, who assumed he would become the father of many nations when he was 100 years old and Sarah was barren. While others saw impossibility, Abraham's assumption was different. He did not see himself as an elderly man facing biological limitations. His internal assumption was that of one blessed by divine promise, destined for countless descendants. He lived from the assumption of abundance for decades before Isaac was born, calling those things which be not as though they were. The promise manifested because Abraham's consciousness had already accepted it as reality. Your consciousness is the only thing you need to change. Your assumptions are the only tools you need to master. Your inner world is the only kingdom you need to rule. When you become king or queen of your own consciousness, you automatically become ruler of your external experience. But here is the profound responsibility that comes with this understanding. You can no longer blame anyone or anything for your circumstances. You cannot point to external conditions as the source of your problems. You cannot make others responsible for your happiness or your misery. You must accept that you are the sole author of your experience. This responsibility is not a burden. It is the greatest liberation possible. When you realize that you create your reality through your assumptions, you discover that you have infinite power to recreate it. When you understand that the world is yourself pushed outward, you know that changing yourself changes everything. The person who treats you poorly is reflecting your assumption about your worth. The opportunities that pass you by mirror your belief in your own value. The love that flows to you matches your assumption of your lovability. The abundance that surrounds you corresponds to your internal sense of deserving. Take a moment right now to grasp the magnificent implications of this truth. If your external world is created by your internal assumptions, then you can change any circumstance by changing the assumption that created it. You can transform any relationship by transforming your assumption about yourself. You can alter any condition by altering your internal state. This is where I invite you to take a powerful step in claiming your creative power. In the comments below, write these words: "Divine intelligence works through me to create my perfect world." Do not underestimate the significance of this declaration. When you write these words, you are announcing to the universe that you have awakened to your role as a divine co-creator. You are proclaiming that you accept responsibility for your creative partnership with infinite intelligence. You are stating that you are ready to consciously participate in creating your reality rather than unconsciously allowing it to unfold. Write it now and feel the shift in your consciousness as you claim your divine creative authority. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your assumptions. If you assume scarcity, you will experience limitation. If you assume abundance, you will experience overflow. If you assume rejection, you will encounter closed doors. If you assume acceptance, you will find welcome wherever you go. Your assumptions are not neutral thoughts floating through your mind. They are creative commands issued to the universe. Every assumption you hold is an order placed with reality. Every belief you maintain is an instruction given to life about what to deliver to your experience. Arnold Schwarzenegger exemplified this principle throughout his extraordinary journey. Born in rural Austria to a police chief father, he assumed three seemingly impossible realities: that he would become the world's greatest bodybuilder, a Hollywood movie star, and eventually governor of California. While others saw a thick accent and unconventional background as limitations, Arnold operated from completely different assumptions. He lived from the assumption that his unique qualities were assets, not obstacles. His internal certainty was so powerful that it attracted the opportunities, connections, and circumstances that made each assumption manifest. From Mr. Olympia to Terminator to Governor, Arnold's life perfectly reflected his unwavering internal assumptions. The external transformation followed the internal assumption because this is how reality works. The world has no choice but to mirror consciousness. Life has no option but to reflect assumptions. The universe is a perfect echo chamber, returning to you exactly what you assume to be true. But assumptions must be lived, not merely thought. You cannot assume abundance on Sunday and live from scarcity on Monday. You cannot assume love in your meditation and operate from fear in your relationships. You cannot assume success in your prayers and expect failure in your actions. Living from your assumptions means feeling what you would feel if they were already true. It means acting as you would act if your desired reality were your current reality. It means speaking as you would speak if your assumptions were already manifest. When you assume you are abundant, you feel abundant. When you feel abundant, you act abundant. When you act abundant, you attract abundance. The external world has no choice but to validate your consistent internal state. Scripture teaches us that, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Your heart represents your deepest assumptions, your core beliefs about yourself and your place in the world. These heart-level assumptions become your external experience with mathematical precision. The prophet Isaiah received this revelation. Before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear. This promise reveals that your answered prayers already exist in the realm of infinite possibility, waiting for your assumptions to align with their reality. The universe is already responding to what you truly assume, not what you say you want. Your assumptions are magnetic. They attract experiences, people, and circumstances that match their frequency. If you assume betrayal, you will magnetize betrayers. If you assume loyalty, you will draw faithful companions. If you assume prosperity, wealth will find its way to you through channels you never expected. The quality of your relationships reflects your assumptions about love. The state of your health mirrors your assumptions about your body. The condition of your finances corresponds to your assumptions about money and abundance. The level of your success matches your assumptions about your worth and capability. Change the assumption, and you change the experience. Transform the belief, and you transform the reality. Shift the internal, and you shift the external. This is why working on yourself is the most practical thing you can do. Building your consciousness is the most efficient use of your time. Changing your assumptions is the most direct path to changing your life. Every moment you spend trying to fix external circumstances without addressing the internal assumptions that created them is energy wasted. Every effort to change others without changing yourself is effort misdirected. Every attempt to manipulate conditions without transforming consciousness is ultimately futile. But every moment you invest in examining and upgrading your assumptions is an investment in your entire future. Every effort you make to build your consciousness pays dividends in every area of your life. Every step you take toward assuming your desired reality is a step toward experiencing it. The world is waiting for you to assume your greatness. Reality is ready to conform to your highest vision of yourself. Life is standing by to reflect back to you whatever you dare to assume as true. You are not here to beg life for crumbs. You are here to command reality through the power of your consciousness. You are not here to hope things work out. You are here to assume they already have and live from that assumption until the external world catches up. Your consciousness is the most powerful force in your universe, because your universe is nothing more than your consciousness projected outward. When you change your consciousness, you change your universe. When you transform your assumptions, you transform your world. The person you assume yourself to be becomes the person you are. The life you assume you are living becomes the life you live. The world you assume surrounds you becomes the world that surrounds you. Stand with confidence in your creative power and declare, I consciously assume my desired reality, and my world transforms to match my assumptions. You have been given dominion over your consciousness, and through your consciousness, dominion over your experience. You have been granted the power to assume any reality you choose and to live from that assumption until it becomes your manifest experience. The one thought that changes everything is now yours. The world is yourself pushed outward. Your assumptions create your reality. Your consciousness is your kingdom. Rule it wisely. Assume greatly. Live magnificently. Assume your throne.